Kamusta na kayo?
Hola, hola, everyone.
Yo.
Andrew Garcia in the building. Might I just say, too, he drove about, 2 hours away?
Like an hour 15, I would say.
Yeah,
Okay.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't
Okay,
in
it
the
wasn't
mornings,
bad.
it's not bad.
Yeah.
In the mornings, it's not that bad.
It was
but
cool.
Yeah.
Midday, now you're pushing it.
Oh, my God. I remember coming back from, going from here to Riverside was like 3 hours around like 2 or 3
Oh, my
PM,
gosh.
3 hours?
Yeah, traffic's crazy.
Oh no, that's nuts, man. I'm from the Bay Area, so doing that 5-hour drive to the Bay, it's a pain.
Yeah.
It's a pain. So anything less than 5, I'm like good to go. Like we're going to Morongo this upcoming weekend,
nice.
and bro, I'm hoping it's just gonna be an hour and a half.
We'll see. But thanks for stopping by the podcast. Nico literally has been up all morning and just scrolling through your Instagram. I'm like, you're pretty much stalking him at this point. That's like literally crazy.
I mean, that's what I do, especially
True.
when we
Yeah,
got
you
some
gotta-
guests in,
you
But
gotta
but I am familiar with you, So for people who aren't, Andrew Garcia, like major when like YouTube like first started out, like when you think of Andrew Garcia, rather when I think of Andrew Garcia, right? I think of like Andrew, AJ Raphael, J.R. Aquino, Melissa Polinar, all of them, because
legends,
bro,
man.
like you're basically Filipino. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah, no, I got mad love for Filipinos, man. They show love. My son's half, so it's like it's amazing, man. They like the food's fire.
Yeah.
So it's I love it.
That's it. Oh, so a Mexipino baby.
Yeah, Mexican.
Oh
Live
my
in the
gosh,
flesh. I
that's
love
hella
that.
Cool. Oh my gosh, this is the first like Mexipino guest that we've had,
Oh,
or actually the
nice.
second.
Yeah, second.
But
Yeah.
oh my god, that's awesome. Like,
That's
so
dope.
was it like kind of similar when your experiences like kind of meshing your families together?
Yeah, they're like that like family's a big thing
Yeah.
in both our cultures, so it's like it wasn't a hard transition. It was just like, oh, dope. They love family parties. They love time.
Yeah.
Like the food, the love. It's just amazing, man. I loved it.
It's all the same at the
Yeah.
end of the day. And I'm sure like even growing up, because I remember when I first saw like your videos on YouTube, I was like, man, like cool, like more Filipinos are just killing it on YouTube. But like you must have got that so much like growing up, and especially now, I mean, maybe still, right?
Yeah, still. Like I remember doing interviews and they were like, yo, so what's it like being Filipino and like on the rise and like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, no, shout out to Filipinos, but I'm Mexican. And right after he goes, man, so being Filipino on this journey. And I was like, it's all good, man. I got love.
That's hella
That's
funny.
crazy.
But like, I guess in those instances, like what like. When people ask you like, oh, like, and they try and make like see if you actually are like, at what point you're like, bro,
Yeah,
like,
I'm like, man, I'm just Mexican. Like that's like we're the same kind of, I think. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, they're like, you're not Filipino, man. Like what? They like go crazy. Like,
is your parents like from here or from like were they born in Mexico?
my parents are from like LA.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Lit.
So you're second generation then.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Actually, yeah, my parents. Well, my grandpa's from like Denver.
Oh,
And
what
then
the heck?
And my grandma's always been LA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Dang.
Would you happen to know like I guess like your family background and like how your dad? You said your dad migrated to Denver,
And your grandpa.
or
grandpa,
your grandpa.
he was born in Denver. Yeah, and
What
then I don't
the
know how. I really don't know how he came here. I should ask, but I don't know. But like, yeah, most of my family is just like LA, California.
Wow.
It's just Denver's such a random state, bro.
I'm like, they from Mexico?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I think that was like kind of like the what? Like, cause
Yeah.
we just like assume we're either gonna come here to California or Texas, and that's pretty much it. But then we hear like, oh, we came from Denver. We're like, wait, hold on a second.
Nah. So none of us from Mexico?
Like
what?
Denver, is there a Denver in Mexico?
How is this? What's happening?
That's all
Yeah.
funny.
And then your grandmother's from LA.
Yeah, like
That's sick, man. Born and raised and everything.
Dang,
Well, shoot, man. Like, I mean, for you, like, how did you get into like the whole like music scene?
So my dad was like, he would. So my mom and dad are like from the same gang in Compton, But
Oh,
my
wow.
mom,
Oh.
my mom kind of was like, I got babies now. I can't be.
Yeah, yeah.
But my dad's kind of like always been in that life still.
Okay.
So he would kind of be like in and out, like he'd be in jail or like, just like out in LA for a while. So I remember graduating and being like, man, I don't want to do school. Like I suck at school. Like it's the worst. And I'm pretty sure everyone feels that's the same way.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna get a job, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do. So I got a job, and my first job was like at Carl's Jr. It was like the worst. Like I was just like, I didn't like it, and so I had a lot of time because I was part time. So my dad left like a broken guitar in my garage. So I was like, man, let me just fiddle with this thing. Like I ain't got nothing else to do, so I would just fiddle with it. And I found myself like thinking about it while I'm at work. Like, I kind of want to play more guitar. Like this is like. I miss it.
Yeah.
So I started playing more and more and started loving it more. And then I started jamming with homies that play guitar. And then someone were like, yo, you should join my band. So I was in a band for like 4 years, writing like originals for like some rock bands and stuff.
What was the name of the band?
Ovid, Ovid.
Okay.
It's Ovid, but we said Ovid as like.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. It was a stylistic thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were like, deep lyrics and like all that stuff. But that's kind of like how I got into it, and I started like my drummer knew AJ.
Oh,
Yeah, they went to high school together, so he was like, yo, like my homie plays music too, we all should hang out. So like of course we hit it off, so we started jamming more, and like I started becoming closer with AJ. We started doing more music. AJ was like, he was like crazy at, like he's been dope at music since he was young.
I feel like that fool just came out the womb singing. You know what I mean? Like on some keys or whatever.
He's always been dope, and like he had a choir which like taught me like how to like harmonize more and like all this stuff, and we just started like I think we discovered YouTube together. We were looking at YouTube and we were like, yo, what the heck? Like this looks dope. Like and like he started doing YouTube, I started doing YouTube, and like that's kind of like how I like fell in love with like music and like collabing and just jamming with other musicians and all that.
Yeah.
So I guess, and you going kind of like on your background of like growing up and how your parents were part of like gangs and that like that. Was that ever kind of like with you, were you like, maybe I should be a part of this instead of pursuing music?
It was like, cause my mom didn't like, my mom was like so responsible. She was like held it down, and like, I saw like two versions of life. Like,
right.
My dad was like, I would literally come home and my dad would have like nothing but straight gangster cholos in my garage. And I thought that was part of life, because it's like, oh, this is normal.
Yeah.
But like now that I think back, I'm like, no, I was like, what? I would be like,
you're like, something could have popped off real fucking quick.
I'm gonna have 911 like on hold, like, just in case.
They're on speed dial.
But like I thought that was normal, and like my dad would do tattoos on people and like all this stuff. But I was always just like, kind of like, I would dress like a cholo, but like I for sure wasn't like trying to be a gangster. I was like. Younger, I was like, yeah, being gangster is cool and all that. Blah, blah, blah. But as you get older, I was like, nah, man, I don't think I want to be no gangster. I gotta watch my back.
Yeah.
And like,
Well, in a sense, music was kind of like a little bit of like a way out from that lifestyle anyway, because, what tends to happen is that like when you're young, you're bored, you don't know what else to do, and you're just hanging out with the homies, like, okay, well, that's just what I'm going to do for like a good remainder of my life. But like, at least based off what you're telling us, like it just kind of seemed like, okay, like I'm surrounded by it. What seems like 24/7. I'm working at a Carl's Jr. Here's a guitar here. Maybe I'm just I'm gonna stick with this guitar and just see what happens.
Want a life of crime?
Or do I want a guitar?
So when you like discover like YouTube and all that, like when is it that it clicked that for you guys, like maybe we should just upload us singing?
AJ, me and AJ were like, AJ Raphael were watching YouTubes, and he was like, yo man, I think we should just upload videos of us just jamming. And then he uploaded some videos and I uploaded, and like, I don't know when we started, we're like, oh, we're doing this is what we're doing. but it kind of just happened to where we were just like, he was starting to do shows and like I was getting shows with my band like local, and he would like bring us out to his shows because he was pretty popping on MySpace.
Yeah.
So like he was getting shows like in SD, and he was like, yo, come out, man, like it's gonna be dope. I was like, oh yeah, let's go. And then from there we just started like meeting, everyone from this.
Yeah, it was such a cool era, man, like the whole YouTube and MySpace era, because I mean, you see what happens nowadays, right? It's like you got Instagram, you got TikTok, you still got YouTube, and there's just so much information where you can, or realistically, as a musician, you have so many different outlets that you're bound to pop off on one of them. But back then, it was really just MTV, BET, but YouTube was the first time where like, you can get access to it like immediately.
True.
And at least for me growing up, like when I think of like that YouTube era where there would be like you or even our homie like Russell, formerly known as like Deep Pride, right? Yeah. Like that era, if you were popping like during those days, you were like freaking superheroes.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, because like back then it was like you had to have like the big machine, right, to be popping, or like to even have that dream. Like, I gotta be. You got to be famous, or you got to just be in TV or something like that. But yeah, I remember going to American Idol and making what is it, Hollywood Week, like the Hell Week of the singers. And I remember we had to get moved from hotel to another hotel, and it was like at the Chinese Man Theater or something. Like we had to walk through there. I remember we're all walking through, and like some fans were like, "Yo, can we take a picture?" And like all the other contestants were like, yo, man, like, why are you even on American Idol? Like, you have fans coming up to you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, from YouTube. Like, they're all from YouTube. Like, and they're like, what's YouTube?
That's
like,
nuts.
I would tell them, like, yo, you just upload videos and you sing, you do whatever. Like, you just upload videos, and, like, there's, like, millions of fans on there. And they're like, what? So, I remember there's this guy named, like, Todrick Hall.
Oh, okay.
He was always asking, he was on American Idol with me, and he was always asking, like, yo, what's YouTube? What is this? I was like, hey, you just upload videos, bro. You're singing, and like there's fans, like it's crazy. And so he took off with it. He was like, all right, bet, let me do this, and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it was kind of crazy to see those two worlds, like how it works. Like,
yeah.
Because now YouTube, it's the same way. Like you might go viral on something, but we just had YouTube, like you said, and it was like crazy to see how I was on one thing and it was a different world than American Idol world.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Do you miss those days?
Yeah, it was fun. I didn't miss the pressure of it. I guess I'm older now.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, like I'm all like, yo, chilling.
I don't give a fuck.
That's a young man's game, right? That's his thing now. I ain't trying to be stressed out. Having millions of people watch me. But no, it's I remember looking back and like I always tell him like, yo, you'll hear this and it may sound corny to you, but like it's really the journey. Like trying, like those, like getting denied here, or like something not happening here, but like that's the fun part of it. Like that's the excitement. Like you get let down, you get lifted up. Like it's all like emotions that you need to just take and build your character. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I could see this podcast currently. You watch the Joe Coy did you just watch the Joe Coy special that just dropped? I haven't. No, it's fire. It's an old head fucking comedy show, bro. And I feel like this podcast is about to bro, this podcast is about to become old head really quick. Watch. I'm gonna start leaning into this shit. So, because all I'm saying is, man, like back then, like it was that struggle of like not having the cameras on you 24/7, and you had to perform at like random bars, random spots. Like, bro, I remember seeing like Jeremy Passion in the most random spots performing when I was growing up. And I have old photos that I cannot find that I was trying to show him when I first met him. And I'm like, bro, like it was cool to see you perform and like here, here, and here. And obviously Lemonade was just like one of those songs that you know, just took over at least the Filipino world, right? But it's crazy because nowadays, everything, and this is where the old head shit starts to come in, right? No, I'm saying nowadays
there's this whole idea of like instant gratification. Like, I gotta get one viral video and I'm on, right? But it's like, no, like it's the consistency and it's the work that you put in. Like the viral videos that go on nowadays, back then it was, you have to go to these bars, you got to go to these venues and just start performing and gain little pieces of actual audience members, like with every single show. Is that something that you kind of like, do you see that same way or am I tripping?
No. That's exactly how I see it. Like now I'm like, before it was like, yo, I need my monitors, my in-ears, like I need all that. Like before it was like, yo, here's a mic, a speaker, like I don't know how you're gonna plug your guitar in, figure it out. But like it's all that. I love that. That's what made me like appreciate when it does get better. Yeah. You know, you appreciate it more because you're like, man, you forget like the little bars I played at, the little parties I played at, like you forget all those, and those are what make your character as a musician or like as a singer, all that. It all matters.
In that phase of like you starting out and then you going on American Idol and then realizing all these fans, was there ever a random like ask of like, can you play at my daughter's like whatever?
Always.
What was the most random one, would you say?
Oh man, there was so many. It would just be like kickback. He was like, can you just play at a kickback? I'm like, I was like,
my boy got booked for a kickback. Huh? That's crazy.
I was like, all right, like what the heck, like. But now, like you learn, like you be like, yeah, take my email down instead of being like, yeah, I'm down, like because before I was saying out of these things, and I was like, it was fun. You meet like cool people, but it's like. You don't know these settings. You got to be like, yo, get my email, hit my manager. Like, we got to see if this is legit or safe.
You're at a kickback just pulling up with your guitar like, oh, okay.
They're all partying 40s on the ground like, what the heck?
All up in the hood and everything, huh?
That's
crazy. Hey, did your dad ever do one of your tattoos?
He did my first tattoo, the A right here.
Oh, dang.
The E string of the guitar, he unwinded it. And there's like a little metal piece between those inside the string, so he unwinded that, shaved it down, got a train motor, bent the guitar string, and melted it in the train motor so it could go like that, and put a big pin, and you put the needle through there, so when you turn it on, it's like, and he did my tattoo.
That's great. That's wild. And that's a big ass tattoo, low key.
My first tattoo. Dang. My mom was tripping. She's like, what's the matter with you? Like, why are you doing that, dude? Like,
I mean, I can see why the first guitar you picked up had a broken string. Was that the same guitar?
Probably, yeah.
Like, now that I think about it, maybe
that was probably the same damn string.
Yo, that's crazy. Yeah. Man, your dad's a boss for that. I mean, I would have cried, dog.
He sings, he plays guitar, that's where I get it from.
Like, yeah.
Like, he can literally fix a car, like, without anything. Like, he's super talented, man.
That's hella funny. I feel like that's just how, like, dads are. Like, they just have these random...
Old school dads, right?
Yeah, like, they just have these random things that they know how to fix. You're like, okay, I guess it makes sense.
Man, I wish I was a handyman, like, back, like, you know, older generations. Oh, my gosh. I'm like... Can't we just call AAA or like,
you know, it's funny because it's like, I think that's like a whole generational thing because even like my parents, like they'd be telling me like, man, like, you know, back then, like you don't even know what we were going through. We had to do this. And I'll see like videos of people talking about like, yeah, you know, Americans are always just about wanting to like chase their dreams and passions. But, you know, really like what happened to all the hard work and shit that we had to put in?
That's hella funny.
It'd be like that.
I feel like there's this like thing with Mexican parents specifically growing up in LA where they always feel the need to tell us how far they've walked to school.
Oh, yeah. Literally, yeah. Like, he used to walk here, walk. I'm like, oh my, I did it. Why are you telling me?
Yeah, like at this point, like it was my dad who would always, every time we passed by, like where he grew up, he'd be like, "Look, I'd start from there." I'm like, "Dad, I already know this path."
He walked it too.
Yeah, I've been walking it in my head for the past like I don't know how many years.
They just love it.
Yeah, I feel like that's just how Mexican parents are.
They gotta tell you about like what their struggles, or else. How, I don't know why they need to, but I get it.
Yeah,
because I've been telling him too, and I don't even know. Like, you know, man, like I didn't even have like none of the stuff. Like he has a studio he can get to, like all the recordings. So I was like, I didn't have none of that.
Oh, he's chilling, huh?
Yeah, he got all the video cameras he needs, like whatever he needs, and his mom's a musician too, so he got it from both of us.
Yeah, I like how when Nico said he's chilling, he's like, yup, like
yeah, he know.
It is when it comes to like now being a parent and being a dad, and you kind of growing up with social media, is there that fear of letting your kid on social media still?
No, not really. I mean, cause like I'm pretty like open with him, like whatever, like the struggles of social media, like whatever, you know. I'm pretty open. I'm like, yo, man, like don't hide nothing, and you won't even like gotta hide nothing. You just be yourself. Cause I feel like people like hide who they truly are.
Right.
And then, like, when it comes to light, they're like, oh, my God, everything's like... I'm like, bro, just keep it real, and, like, you won't need... Like,
you
won't need to fear social media.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need all that. And I keep it real with him. Like, whenever I talk to him about anything, I'm just like, yeah, bro, don't get caught up in the views or being viral. Just, like, only better yourself, like, whether it's musician and life.
Yeah.
Because life's going to come at you no matter who you are.
Right.
Whether you're in the hood or not, life will come at you. So... if you just real with yourself and have that work ethic, you'll be straight.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy because it's like I'll be posting content, like whether it be DJ content, podcast content. I have like a whole bunch of like guitar content just chilling in my phone right now, right? Nobody knows about this shit except for her. Well, not for you. Now you know this shit, right? But you know, I think once you let go of like the standard of social media of like I'm supposed to go viral, I'm supposed to get like a lot of views, a lot of comments, whatever, like it becomes a lot easier. And you know, at least for me, Instagram and TikTok become a little bit more of like a diary for myself, you know, because like I'll listen to old mixes, for example, that I've put on YouTube, and I'm just like, God, I thought that was good at that time. That's insane, bro. And then I'll listen to what I have now, and I could look at everything and be like, wow, like I drastically improved at that time from this time. And I'm sure you get the same thing because you got videos that are like 10, 12 years old, bro.
Yeah, there's videos that are like, whew, I sound horrible. Like, you know, like, but like you look back and you're like, okay, cool. Like, I made progress. Like, yeah, when you don't think about any of that, it's easier, you know, to just upload and just be comfortable with yourself. Because I think social media makes everyone like, no, you gotta be balling. You gotta look rich. Yeah. You gotta look popping. Yeah. It's like, no, man, you gotta be a good person. You gotta work on yourself. You gotta be better. You gotta take care of your fam. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what matters. Like that'll all come when you're working hard. Like, and then you ain't gotta worry about that.
Yeah.
The better stuff is like when you work on your skills, when you work on your own personal life being better. That's all that's just BS to me.
I gotta ask because you said both you and your wife are musicians.
Oh no, his mother.
His mother.
Yeah,
his mother. Okay,
she's
okay.
Married, yeah,
okay, cool. Okay. And are both of you like full-time musicians?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love. First of all, that's an applause. You don't hear it.
You won't hear it, but the audience will.
The audience will hear it. But like, how you've been doing music forever, right? We'll just say forever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what are the struggles of like being a full-time musician, raising a family, trying to navigate through life and all that? Because to me, that is a dream. I'm doing it, right? I'm a full-time DJ, producer, everything, and it is freaking hard, bro.
Yeah.
And I want to know like your thoughts on all of that. Man,
I don't know, man. You kind of sometimes just have to go with the flow. But like, obviously, you know, you gotta, I'm like seeing how I'm like, yo, I gotta talk to him about this. I gotta talk to him about that. But me and his mom, like co-parent, we get along really good. Yeah. So like, that's a plus because I hear like, you know, the parents that don't stay together don't get along.
Yeah.
And the kids like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just blessed that I don't have to go through that. So I really just look at how blessed I am, and that helps me kind of continue to just keep doing what I'm doing. The stresses is like, that's normal. Like, that's going to come. yes, it sucks at times, and that's you're like, yo, man, it's hard. But when you really look at how blessed you are, or like where you come from, it gets better, man. It's like it gives you like a peace of mind.
Yeah.
It really does, man, because I mean, like all musicians, like even there's like really good months. Like you'll have a month where you're just like, oh yeah, like summertime is great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when the weddings are happening. So it's like you're performing all the bookings and everything, right? And then once you creep into like November, December, all the way through like February, you're just
I gotta get a job.
You start considering the 9 to 5. You're like,
oh, bro, I consider that at least like once a year, and I'm just like, am I doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing? Like,
nah, you are, man. As long as this, it's the same. Like what we're in, it's the same. Like it's what we love. It gives us our passion. It gives us our what's that word?
Drive.
A drive and like
motivation.
What's the word?
I'm throwing in just all random words that I think.
Purpose.
Purpose.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
one was gonna stick.
no, they all go though. They all
yeah.
But yeah, it gives you your purpose. So it's like, if it's all just feel good, like it's too easy. You want to appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What would you say is your purpose then?
Oh man, my purpose is like music's fun to me right now, and I do it like before I would be like, yo, I gotta get popping. Like that. That's normal to think like that. Right now, my purpose is like, yo, he's so good at music. My son's so good at music. Like, let me just teach him what I know, and just hope that he's better. He becomes better because, like, I didn't know the music business. I didn't care to. I was like, I just do the music and like, you know, like, no, you got to know the music business. You got to know you got to know percentage. You just got to know. You got to be fair. Like, you can't like go in this not knowing because then it's just not good for anyone.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to teach him like my purpose I think is to teach him like, yo, like this is where I made mistakes and this is where I'm not afraid to tell you where I made mistakes.
Yeah.
So I'm like open with him and like making sure he knows just as much as he studies the guitar and singing or whatever, to study the business as well, just to know it, you know, and study music. Because he's naturally talented. He don't even need notes or anything. He'd learn on his own, like how I learned. But I was like, man, let me just tell you, it's just good to know a little bit music theory, just in case you do jam with somebody who's like out of the insanely talented. You'll know, you know, a little more. Me, I'll be like, let me hear it again. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm just telling him, like, yeah, I think my purpose is to, you know, show him the better things of what I wish I knew. And yeah, all that. But I'm not afraid to tell him where I made mistakes, where I messed up, or all that. It's just keeping it real with him so he can keep it real with his music and keep it real with when he has fans and, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, what were like, you know, some of those mistakes that you really had to learn from?
Man, you know how they be like, work hard, play hard?
Yeah.
Man, work hard and play a little bit. Like, just work hard. Like, because you're gonna get burnt.
And that's some real shit, bro.
You're gonna get burnt out, bro.
Yeah,
like it's like celebrating is amazing. Like going out is fun, but like just remember, like, yo, you love working. Like, don't like get caught up in all that because it's easy. It's so easy to get caught up in it.
Yeah.
And I got caught up in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I was like, I'm not afraid to tell him that I got caught up in it. It's just what it is.
Yeah. I mean, you know, last year I was touring a lot. I was traveling like Philippines, Canada, like Texas, everywhere, bro.
Fire. Yeah.
And like, I immediately learned from the top of the year when I started touring, I was like, man, I cannot be traveling and drinking every night, bro. This is not fun, man.
Dude, I can't even think about it. I get tired now thinking about it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how I did it back then. Like, we were touring Australia, getting lit. Next flight, like, hungover. Like, I'm like, no, that's not it. How did I do it?
That's hella fun.
But I was younger, so that's why.
Yeah.
Is there like a moment or like a video rather on YouTube out there that you look at it and you're like, fuck, I was really cringe. Like,
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I can't remember. I always been a pretty cool dude.
Like those are unlisted on YouTube now. Anything he thought was cringe is not even on YouTube no more.
There we go. We good.
So funny.
I don't know. Maybe there's a video. I don't know. It's usually just me performing. It's not really like a lot of like interviews.
Yeah. There was a song of yours. You know, it was about basically constantly being in like airports and terminals, right? Right?
Yes.
I love that. I love that song, and I was listening to it so much last year because of the situation of like traveling a lot, and I'm like, man, I relate to this guy so much even more right now. You know, and even that song was like what, 2013?
Oh my God.
It was a while ago, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So like my question to you is, bro, like now, like, you know, you have a son, like, you know, you're not traveling as much anymore, like not touring as much anymore. Does that like ever get into your head? Because like, you know, you're a lot more stationary. You're not like airplanes and terminals like every week, or like, you know, in Australia getting lit, like touring every day. Like,
you know, I mean, I'm pretty chill now. Like, I remember I booked a show in Singapore and I was like, dang, I haven't flown cross country in a while. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad, man. It was like riding a bike. You know what I'm saying? When you know how to ride a bike, it's like getting back on the bike again. It was cool, man. It was fun.
Yeah.
I've never been lit like I used to though. Oh my God.
You're like, I'll be in bed right after the show.
I gotta catch a flight in the morning. I ain't trying to be busted all tired. Like, nah.
How was the crowd in Singapore?
Oh man, they always show love. Like every time I went out there, it's amazing, bro. It's crazy. Yeah.
Dang.
It's nuts. Yeah.
I want to visit Singapore like so bad.
Oh, it's nice. Oh, Jakarta, all that. Like they show love. It's hot as heck, but it's
What is that the most like memorable place you've been to?
Australia, Canada, like what? I think it was Vancouver.
Oh, yeah, Vancouver's lit.
Yeah, I think I came at the perfect time where it was just like, I guess, I don't know if it was getting over winter or beginning winter, but like the sun was out, there was cool air, it was like perfect. And I was like, yo, this is crazy, this feels amazing.
That's awesome.
And Australia is just, every part of Australia is just fire. It's beautiful.
Wow.
I haven't been. You know, it's a trip talking to my Australian homies because they're like, yeah, you know, we got to take a flight over to the other side of the country. I'm like, bro, how big is Australia? They're like, bro, like Australia's as big as the U.S. I'm like, it sure doesn't look like that on the freaking map, dog. Like, that shit's nuts.
It's big out there, bro. But it's still, you got to go out there, man.
You ever try kangaroo?
Yes, on a pizza when I was out there, yeah.
On a kangaroo pizza, bro?
Yeah, bro. It looked like sausage. The texture's a little weird. Like, I wouldn't prefer it, but yeah, I was like, yeah. It was a little...
Dang, that's kind of crazy.
I hella want to try kangaroo, man. Like that.
You gotta go to Australia, man.
It's hella gainy and whatnot. Man, shit.
That's hella funny.
So Andrew, like anything in the works, like, cause you know I see like AJ's still like touring during his thing. Like, do you have anything in the works in regards of like a tour or anything?
No, right now I'm just like I'm like doing music. Like I'm like working on. I'll be writing a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like showing him stuff and like teaching him like yo, like you gotta start writing originals, man. You gotta start, cause he has originals and they're like really good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, so I kind of write here and there, and then more focus on like getting him like where he needs to be and like.
Yeah. You know, for you, like, you know, obviously, like during that time, like being a cover artist was like the thing. Yeah. And it was so easy to like, you know, well, I wouldn't say easy, but you know, like to move around and get your name out, that was like the best way to do it. Yeah. But I feel like it's always been a double-edged sword because like, yeah, you can become a really dope cover artist, but you could also get stuck just doing cover art.
I think I feared that a little bit in the beginning, but then once I started like seeing a lot of people knowing my originals, I was like, oh, okay, it's not like I thought it was gonna be just like, oh, he just does covers. So like I started getting love for my originals, so that's what kind of made me like, oh, I'm not tripping. It's all good.
Yeah.
When you were talking about, you know, teaching your son more than you learned yourself, like you were talking about like, oh, because you didn't know music theory and you were just kind of like, play that again. How was it in studio sessions where it was kind of like, where you had those moments? Did you feel like maybe I should have taken like some sort of school or anything like that?
Like not at the time, because at the time I was like, you're in that, like, yo, I got fans. Like, you have that little ego. So I was like, I was always like down to learn though, like whoever I was collabing with, like, oh, dope, this is cool. Oh, okay, this is cool. Like, so I was always open to like learning stuff, but I was like confident in like, all right, I don't know as much as them, but this is how you learn. You collab with people better than you. That's how you learn. So that's how I approach it too. Like, I know they're way more better than me, so I'm gonna learn something from them. So I can't wait to get in.
And it's also a lot of like trial and error too.
Yeah. You gotta fail to know where you're at in your talents or whatever you do.
Yeah, in the best way possible. I love being the least informed or the dumbest person in the room.
Yeah, bro. Because then you get informed, you learn something new.
Yeah, man. What would you say is like your biggest piece of advice for somebody who is just trying to be a musician, especially someone who is young?
Man, like just to focus on your musicianship. I say like your talent or your skills, to just practice it and don't worry about going viral. Don't worry about getting views. Worry about just getting better and owning your craft, and it'll come. You just don't give up. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, Andrew Garcia, everybody. You know what I'm talking about? Mexipino podcast.
Let's go.
I gotta say, I think we need like a remade video of your cover with AJ and Tori Kelly. We need, you know what I mean? We need a remake of that, because the 10-year anniversary or something just passed like not too long ago.
Dang. See, I don't be knowing all that.
You're like, I gotta go back in the.
Just like, damn, you know more than me about my shit.
You're like, I gotta go back in the archives.
Yeah, I gotta look that up. I gotta look at the date. I'm down, man. Yeah, like that was a fun cover. That was crazy. That was when we were just like, yo, Tori Kelly's crazy. She's too crazy. It was dope, man.
It was fun. Oh, a couple more questions actually.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like eras of music, right?
Ooh.
I'm assuming you were born in like the 80s or 90s.
85. Yeah,
okay.
85.
Perfect question.
38.
So Andrew, I'm 31. I love my 30s. Let me just say that. So Andrew, if you were to take out one era of music, 80s, 90s, or 2000s music.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah. Which era of music would you just completely kill off?
Dang. That's a hard question. because like I'll hear 80s songs and I'm like, yo, that's amazing. The feel I get from it. But then 90s, it's like, hello, 90s. Like, that's what we turn up to. 2000s, we turn up to 2000s too. I don't know, man. That's a hard question, really.
You know, we always save the best question for last.
Yeah,
That's so hard. Wait, what, like 2000s, like what, Neo and all that?
2000s, like from the year 2000 to like 2010.
Dang.
He's like, fuck, that made it even harder.
And the 90s, 80s got them love ballads. I don't know, man.
I think we said we would cut off the 90s, huh?
I'm not gonna lie, I would personally cut off the 90s.
90s?
I would personally.
I mean,
and I say that because like I was born in 93.
Yeah.
So it's not like
you couldn't really.
You know what I mean? I wasn't like coming out the womb like talking about Tupac. You know what I'm saying? And then my parents, they love the 80s music, and what I grew up with was 2000s. So that's why for me, I cut off the 90s.
That helps me. Like with the decision, because 90s you're young. I was young in the 90s. I didn't really hear music like that. Yeah, I just knew like Tupac. Like my dad be bumping Tupac, and I love Tupac. I love I hear those. Let me see.
Sounds like you're cutting off the 90s, bro.
But now I listen to the 90s so much. I would say 80s because I was like I was born in the middle. Yeah, I was born in the middle. And he's like 85. So I would say 80s.
There we go. Okay.
Dang.
That's fair.
Why y'all
That's
ask
fair.
that?
Canceled. No, I'm just My name is Nico Blitz.
I'm Jackie Ramirez.
I'm Andrew Garcia.
And we are out, everybody. Mexipino Podcast.
Period.